This Europa League and EFL Cup picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog has a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, September the 21st. We are here to run the rule over a weekend of Premier League action that finished a couple of hours ago. Before we get stuck into a couple of separate competitions this week, the Europa League has its match day one fixtures running Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And the EFL Cup third round games take place as well. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm sporting my usual in-season Sunday night look. A little bit of a red head again. Caught the sun, yeah. Caught the sun. Classic Baz.
It now didn't stop raining all weekend, Barry. How did you catch the sun?
Oh, it's been sunny the day down here. Been lovely.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not a cloud.
Actually, it was quite pleasant this morning. Didn't stop raining. It was biblical yesterday. I had a job in Sunderland. I was at the Europa Hotel, Barry, you know. A German wedding. What do you think of that? So the groom was German, which meant there was a lot of strong-jawed women there for a start. But the Germans, they're a bit mad, aren't they? They like a drink. So even when I turned up at like 8 o'clock, all the blokes were hammered. I thought there's no way this is not going to last till midnight. Oh, they were still going at midnight. It was all German warehouse techno going on the disco with the German version of 99 Red Balloons every third song. So yeah, strong German wedding. But I got absolutely drenched repeatedly. Loading and unloading the van, Barry. I was feeling very, very sorry for myself. I was like a drowned rat, like several times as well. So yeah, didn't enjoy that. I want to say, Baz, we don't often say nice things about each other, Barry, and rightly so, because you're a knob. But we had a little drink, didn't we, before the match on Thursday?
We did, yeah. You made a point not long ago that the amount of times I come back to Newcastle and we never, ever catch up for a beer. So yeah. Thursday night, we had a beer for an hour, aye.
And I can tell you all, readers, that Barry looks $1 million. He was a new man. And I'll tell you how disciplined he was. We had a pint, and then Simmers was going to the bar. Barry says, "No, not me. I'll have a gin and tonic." A gin and slimline tonic. Get it right. So yeah, talking us through his regime, Baz. So hats off to you. You were looking good. We're all very proud of you, Baz. Did you enjoy the match? You went up St. T's club to watch it?
Yeah, watching the club. It was a good game. I thought Newcastle gave a good account of themselves. Just lacked the firepower, which has been the story of the season so far. Great enough in the first half, didn't take our chances, and then Barcelona's quality shone through in the end, didn't it? They're a quality side. There's no shame in losing a game to them, and a tight game as well in the end. So it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the sort of game you get pissed off about getting beat. I mean, you go off. We've got our favourites against Barcelona for some reason in the Champions League. I didn't get that. And even before the game, it wasn't like the Liverpool game last Monday where it was good. I'm still suicidal now about that. You thought, but Bob was going to enjoy watching it because the first time we beat Barcelona, we thought it was going to happen every season, and then we haven't seen them for 27 years or whatever the hell it was. So I made sure that Bob enjoyed it. He made me watch Pedri, who was absolutely unbelievable. He's a sort of player, unless you watch him, you wouldn't notice him. And then once you notice him, you can't stop noticing that he must have had 700 touches. As every pass was Pedri to someone, to Pedri to someone, to Pedri to someone, to Pedri to someone. He just linked up absolutely everything. And
it's like Xavi and Iniesta were back in the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
The same sort of mould.
And the difference, so like the fourth official put up 11 minutes in Newcastle v Liverpool. And we had attack, corner, shot, corner, attack. They put up 7 minutes against Barcelona, and we never touched the ball. We couldn't get near it. They just kept it. And even Bruno G interviewed at the end was like, we couldn't get the ball off them. Sorry, we tried, but you just couldn't get it. There's no shame in that. There's 7 other games for us to pick up points in our season, and our success or otherwise won't be defined by getting the talk to Barcelona. So now it was all right. I enjoyed it. I came back and did the Copa Libertadores quarter-final at 1:30 in the morning. There was a goal after 17 seconds, which I wasn't sure, because I wasn't concentrating, was like a replay or something that had happened earlier in the season, because I thought they hadn't scored already. So that's not an ideal start. The game kicked off. I have a swig of my tea. I look out the window, and then I look, and they're all celebrating. I thought, well, I don't know what's going on there. Turns out there was a goal after 17 seconds. So another inauspicious start. I was meant to have PSG Marseille tonight, Barry, but it got rained out, or there was a flood warning or something. So that got called off this afternoon. So it's taking place 8 p.m. tomorrow night, which is why we are here doing this now. But it wasn't like a forgettable weekend of Premier League football. But if I said to you, there's not an obvious thing to talk about, or did you see that? Like the Man U Chelsea thing was interesting, because you don't often see a goalkeeper sent off after 4 minutes. And there was some other shenanigans in that game. The Arsenal-Man City game was interesting if you're kind of like a Premier League purist, if you want to go for the tactical deep dive and all that. But just sitting in the corner watching it was a bit boring. I watched Newcastle and Sunderland simultaneously on 2 screens this afternoon, which was just dog shit. And then yesterday, the main slate on Saturday, it was all right. There was some good goals and some other bits and bobs, but nothing that stuck out, Baz.
Yeah, nothing startling. One takeaway for me was this semi-automated offside hasn't really changed anything, has it?
No,
because
of course it hasn't.
We're still waiting 2 minutes for a decision half the time on it. And the picture they showed us for Fernandes yesterday suggested to me he was still offside.
Yeah.
And yet 2 weeks ago, Burnley had one exactly the same, and he was offside. This week, the same picture shows us Fernandes is onside. It's still just someone guessing. But now we're just guessing based on a cartoon image rather than the actual image. That was a bizarre one, because the picture's shining no light on anything at all. Nobody believes it. It doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. The shirt sleeve one in particular, because it was highlighted last week with Burnley and Manchester United, where that bit of his shirt sleeve was off. And then this week, the bit of his shirt sleeve was on.
Yeah.
And right, okay, well, which one is it? How have we arrived at this decision? And only because it was Man United twice, and obviously it's in focus, etc. And we do eye catches this week because we've got a little bit of time to let this breathe. I'm going to tell you first about, remember, we've got a fancy new sponsor here, and you need to get involved in it. Daily Spins is what we're after, your destination for crypto sports betting. dailyspins.com/sports. That's dailyspins.com/sports. The football betting in there is very, very good. Picks-wise, I survived, Barry. I'll take it. So I went 4-4-2. I had 2 pushes. Don't very often give out the best that is a push. I can't remember what the second one was. Everton +1 pushed. How can I have another push? Oh, I took Sunderland draw no bet. So yeah, 2 pushes, 4-4-2. I got back to 10.2 units, Barry. So anyone who followed took a £10 stake. Get yourselves a coffee in the morning. You can have that one on me. My lock hit, which was the Forest Burnley under. However, I felt that was incredibly fortunate because it was 1-1 after 20 minutes. And then both keepers made a ton of saves. Burnley at the crossbar. Dubravka looks really good for Burnley. I'm sure Lee will agree. The wounding thing for me, Barry, was, if you remember, I gave out the Palace centre-halves as goal scorers. Fucking hell. Lacroix hit the bar. They both hit the crossbar. Gahey hits the bar and Mateta scores the rebound. And then in the second half, the car hits the bar. So I'm on the right lines.
I
and I
saw
couldn't
that.
get a 28-1 win. I mean, it's not a secret, by the way. Everyone knows West Ham is shit in set pieces. I haven't uncovered, I haven't opened Pandora's box here, and what flew out was someone saying, "Oh, West Ham is shit in corners." So I'm sure a few people did back people, but yeah, it was just unfortunate. Like when your goal scorer put the rebound in after my goal scorer hit the bar. So yeah, 10.2 for me. I think you were a little bit under Baz, but again, like it just didn't come easy. I was scrapping away, got that under 2.5 in Man City Arsenal this afternoon just to get me over the threshold, but it didn't come easy this week, Baz.
Yeah, but funnily enough, it was the unders that were hitting for me. I only hit 4 out of the 10, but it was the unders in the Forest game, unders in the Sunderland game. I got a bit nervy because it was 0-0 until about 80 minutes, then they both went and scored. I took City double chance. I also put City out as a dog, which was a bit unfortunate with a late goal. Palace team total was a good one for me, and Palace for my scorer. I took Mateta, who was 2-1 anytime, 5-1 first scorer as well. Mateta. The cards picks weren't very good this week, but there was a little bit of frustration actually. Kev Matthews messaged me again to point out Dewsbury Hall got booked yesterday, Lukic got booked yesterday, and they're 2 of the ones I've had in several times this season. And the other one I pointed out was Romero, who's made the list a few times. So it was right players, wrong week.
Fair, did you see why Dewsbury Hall got booked?
He took a free kick too quickly, didn't he?
I took a free kick out.
You can't do that against Liverpool. That's not allowed.
Also, 3 minutes of added time. I don't want to be that bloke, Barry. 3 minutes of added time. I nearly threw the telly out the window. I'm like, oh, fuck off, will you? 6 substitutes.
It is laughable.
A goal and the various shenanigans that accompanies 45 minutes of Premier League football. 3 minutes will do, lads. You'll be all right. I fucking hell. Like, oh, mate, I don't want to be that guy, but yeah, it's frustrating. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, good picks. Palace was a great pick. I think a lot of people had Palace. My last man standing that I'm sharing with Simmers, he took Palace, which was good because I'd pushed quite hard for Wolves, which was a terrible pick. I very, very much misjudged that. I even told there was 2 blokes on the bus on Thursday night talking about last man standing. So I reached over full of confidence here when I'm like, tapped him on the shoulder. Lads, Wolves. Like, all right. I was like, I did 2 hours on this afternoon. Trust me, it's your best up, Wolves. So I hope I'll not be getting the number 35 for a couple of weeks, Baz, because I've just cost those 2 lads a few hundred quid. Yeah, I severely misjudged Wolves. Fulham was a good pick. They absolutely mauled Brentford. And the unders today was a good pick. I know Arsenal scored in injury time to make it close. But yeah, I thought that was a good pick. But yeah, Wolves misjudged. Eye catchers, Baz, anything you want to lead us off with? I mean, the Man U Chelsea game is a place to start.
Yeah, that was nuts. Obviously, I had Sanchez in goal for my fantasy football, so that was a good start, wasn't it? Picked myself a -3 for my keeper.
I did see, Barry, you get the old sub on, play on now. So if your player is substituted off, the player who replaces him carries over. Everyone who backed Estevao first goal then got the Chelsea sub goalkeeper. So I really, really enjoyed that. He was on there. He was in bet builders for shots on target. He was in ladders. It was quality. That's just again all-time gambling god story. Like sub on, play on. So you got, who was it? Hermansen. What's his name? Goodmonson. Jamonson.
Yeah.
Something
Jorgensen, wasn't it?
That might be him.
Yeah, I mean, it just I really like Chelsea as a pick in that game, and then 5 minutes in, you're dead, aren't you? So
yeah, not necessarily though, because then I mean Sanchez is an idiot. But what was fucking little Fatty Boom Boom doing? Why did he get sent off? And why did he look so astonished that he'd been sent off, having committed a blatant yellow card offence? I didn't get that. But Callum, as just mentioned in the chat, it does appear that Maresca absolutely shit the bed.
He did. It was bizarre. I mean, obviously, you've got to bring your keeper on. Fair enough. But then everything that happened afterwards just didn't seem to make any sense. Going as far as getting Garnacho out on the sideline so he could be roundly booed and abused by all the Man United fans, only to tell him he wasn't actually coming on anyway. Go sit back on the bench. Palmer coming off early. I'm assuming Palmer must have had an injury.
Well, that's the story, but he didn't look very happy about it.
No, he didn't.
They were all doing the They were all doing the hand covering the mouth thing, weren't they? We was talking to someone.
So
he took all the players off, and then obviously Casemiro gets sent off, and then they get a goal back. But by then it was completely shagged. So yeah, that whole game was just a peculiarity, really. Arsenal very nearly just did the same old stuff. And before they equalised, I was sort of planning me opening speech tonight about how correct I was, saying that they'd never take the handbrake off the nigga. And I still feel I was kind of right, because the fact that they scored in the 91st minute or whatever doesn't change anything, because they turned up and didn't do enough again, like they didn't do enough against Liverpool a few weeks ago, like they won't do enough next week against Newcastle or whatever it is. They won't do enough in the big games to accumulate enough points or to progress in a cup competition, in a knockout cup competition. They just haven't. I thought Arteta picked a weird team. I don't know why you would pick Trossard and leave your better players on the bench. Guardiola did park the bus, but why not? Do you know what I mean?
Lee mentioned that in the chat. Lee said Burnley got grief for parking the bus yesterday, whereas City done it today, and it was a defensive masterclass. Well, it wasn't in the end. The difference is City are 1-0 up early on, so they've got a lead to defend, haven't they? I think that's a bit different to a team coming out and just parking the bus from the start. Obviously, it didn't pay off, so Guardiola gets some grief, but it wasn't a classic. Once again, the Super Sunday games have let us down a little bit.
Andy's in the chat there mentioning the Leeds United, and he's referenced the FPO. The FPO is the Fund Prevention Officer, who was also Andy's wife. Andy's wife is known as the Fund Prevention Officer. And she's a Leeds fan, so I was having a chat with her on Friday night, just telling her that Leeds wouldn't score any goals. So Andy's pointed out that Karen just wants to highlight that Leeds did indeed score loads of goals. And I did want to mention that game as an eye-catcher, because I did get that very wrong on Wolves. And I might just have to reassess Wolves, because I still keep saying they're going to be all right.
Yeah,
and then they went 1-0 up, and they drifted in price. They were 2-1. Fucking hell, I could have got myself in some bother trying to back them. I messaged you at like 2:10. I was like, Baz, they're 2-1, man. This is a chance of a fucking lifetime. And then they went 1-0 up, and I was smelling myself. And by 3:45, it had all gone entirely tits up. So, yeah, reassess Wolves. I mean, Burnley pick up a point. Sunderland pick up a point. Leeds pick up 3 points. Those 3 teams are doing a wholly different job to the 3 teams that attempted to stop up last year. I'm not sure where they are currently in the league table, actually. But they're all making a better fist of it. And if you get the likes of Wolves and Brentford, who are going to struggle, then the chances of at least one of them, if not more, stopping up is quite live.
Well, I had a very similar story with the Brentford game, didn't I? Because I fancied Brentford. So very much the same story as the Wolves game. Brentford taking a 1-0 lead and then being comfortably beaten in the end. So yeah, I got both of those ones wrong.
Yeah, you're right, Baz. Where are we going? I'm going to read this stuff out, Baz. Here we go. Watch this. I just got to scroll back to the top. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. Your place to bet on football and everything else. Prop builder is second to none. The motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag. Promo code PLGP for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. Mybookie.ag. Promo code PLGP. And we're brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app, get $50 when you spend $5 if you use your promo code SGPN. Getting on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. I'll tell you, did finish the weekend in profit, Baz. Fucking Data Dave, isn't it? He's a right wanker. I haven't spoken to him about it yet, actually. I've been busy this weekend. I've asked him to do some stuff, but we haven't had a chat. Man U, Chelsea, both teams to score and over 2.5. It was Data Dave's pick. What price was that? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to price that up because I've been tracking Data Dave. Data Dave's now 3-1 anyway. I'd say that was about 11 to 8, so we'll put him at 2.4 units. Data Dave. 3-1, 2 point. Yeah. So he's going on all right. I'll have a chat with him later in the week. I'll get some more get to know Data Dave information off him, and we'll see if we can get a winner off him. The Predict Addict League, Barry. I've got some updates. I thought I was going to log in and see that I had won this week, but I didn't. I finished second this week behind Chris Swain, who got 4 correct results. So that's 4 games absolutely spot on. And another one. So he finished on 13. I then came in on 12 with 3 correct results. Joe Dollar, 11. Nick Roach on 10. And then we've got a cast of legends on 9. Graham Walker, Matthews, Tiger. Our overall leader finished on 8. Who's in the chat there? Smudger finished on 8. Andy Williams 8. Simmer 7. Barry Penaluna 5. Barry, did you forget to put some of yours on? Or what?
No, I didn't. It looks like there's a few of the show regulars who did forget, though. We've got Lenny, Callum, Mafia, all on 0 this week. I assume they didn't make their picks.
Yeah. So the overall leaderboard, it's just logged me out. Hang on. Overall leaderboard. Cameron Burke is still top. 5-point lead. 42 points. Cam, Joe Dollar in second, and Chris Swain tied with Bob and Rhys Evans in third. I'm sitting down in fourth. If you give us 5-10 seconds, Barry, I'll scroll down to find your name. Tied for 11th, Barry. There you go. So get you. There's still plenty of time to play, because there's monthly prizes, so you haven't missed out. It is predictaddict.co.uk, and the mini league number is 43455. Barry, is there anything else do you want to cover over about this weekend's Premier League action before we try and make some picks?
No. I would have possibly talked about Forest and Villa, but they'll both feature in this.
Yeah, part of the reason I didn't mention Villa was we're going to have a look at their Europa League game as well, and I have got Forest. As per usual, we don't know which games we've picked, but by the sounds of it, I've done Forest and Villa, so it looks like we've got similar games.
I thought we might have had a bit of crossover this week.
Danny's joined us in the chat. Danny, welcome along. Yeah, Europa League then. So it's a bit of a weird opening couple of weeks. We had the Champions League last week. This week features the Europa League on Wednesday and Thursday. Before next week, we go back to normal. So you'll get Champions League games on Tuesday, Wednesday, with Europa League games on Thursday. So I think there's a showcase in the competition in week 1. But we'll start in Europe, and then we'll head across to the EFL Cup as well, 3rd round action. And I've got these in no particular order, Baz. Tuesday, there's nothing on Tuesday. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Real Betis taking on Nottingham Forest. Betis 6-5 plus 120. 12-5 the draw plus 240. Forest 11-5 plus 220. I thought this was a good spot for the Spaniards, Baz. Thought it was a good spot for Betis. They're in decent form at home. They've been at home for a while. Just little things like that. They played at home on Friday night. They beat Sociedad 3-1 on Friday night. So they get an extra day's rest. It's not Forest are in a couple of travel spots away at Burnley. I know you're right, it's an hour and a half on the bus, but it's an away game, then get back to sort themselves out to leave to Spain again. That all just sets up much nicer for Betis. And in the form line, I prefer the Spanish team anyway. They've won 2 of 3 at home so far this season. Forest aren't winning games. They've won 1 out of 5 in the league. They got knocked out the cup. They played okay at Burnley, but it was Burnley, and they still didn't win. And fuck knows what Ange's going to do. I'm still not sure. Obviously, we've seen the madness at Swansea in the week in the cup. Saturday was less mad, but are we going to see more madness creeping in? Are they going to get better? Are they going to get worse? I just don't understand. I don't know is the short answer. So it's hard to pick holes in Betis' form. At home, they're playing well. They've been winning. And the opposition is just a ton of question marks for me. So I'm going to take Real Betis to win outright at 6-5 plus 120.
Yeah, so I've got the same game. I thought it looked like a tough opener for Forest. Betis sitting 6th in La Liga. They've only lost one of their opening 6 games so far in all competitions. 1-2, drawn 3, lost 1. Scored 9 goals so far in their opening 6 as well, including 5 in the last 2 games. Forest apparently looked a bit better this weekend, but a 1-1 draw v Burnley hardly inspires you coming into this. And as you've mentioned, 5 without a win now, including defeats to West Ham and Swansea in there. No clean sheets in their opening 5 games as well. Conceded 12 goals so far. So those defensive, the defensive prowess that they were renowned for last year seems to have dropped off. So I fancy Betis, who are finding the net often enough to be able to score here. And I think 1 goal might be enough. Forest scored only 1 in their last 3 league games. Exactly the same as you. I thought Betis were a good price at home to a Forest side who haven't quite got going there this season, who are in a bit of a transitional period. I thought 23-20 for Betis was a great price. So same pick, Betis to beat Forest, 23-20. Malcolm's on mute.
I was typing, Baz. I was chatting. I was chatting with Cal. Cal's going to subsidise the Christmas party, which is nice. We're going to Dubai this year, Barry. The top of the what's nice. That Burj Al Arab. It's up there. I booked it. So yeah. Next up is what is stuff happening? I didn't write this down in any order at all, Barry. I'm just going to do it in the order I've got it on my bit of paper. I'm going to go to 8 o'clock on Thursday. And it's Rangers.
I might have got to call the next one, but if you want to just lead off on all of them, that's fine.
Well, we've just done the same one.
That's fine. Carry on. I've got Wednesday games.
Carry on.
If you want to,
I presume you've done half of the ones I've done anyway.
Probably
like half the amount. How many games have you done?
I've done 4 Europa League games.
4. Any EFL Cup games?
No, and I'll tell you for why.
Oh, Barry, your flexi time, Baz. Yeah, you just clock out. That's fine. Well, I better go then to catch up and to balance it out. Thursday, 8 o'clock, Rangers take on Genk. Rangers are 29-20 plus 145, 5-2. The draw plus 250. Genk are 7-4 plus 175. You just have to feed Rangers, don't you? They're in terrible, terrible form. It's all gone completely tits up. They've got no wins in 5 in the SPL. They're in 11th place. Now, they did squeeze past Hibs in the League Cup yesterday. But even that was kind of on a knife edge. Hibs had a goal, VAR'd out early on. So they squeezed past that Hibs in the Cup quarter-final, I think it was, League Cup quarter-final. Russell Martin looks like a little lost puppy. The crowd, if they're not ready to turn, I think they've already turned on Russell Martin. There's been all kind of protests and stuff. They got knocked out of the qualifiers for the Champions League. They got absolutely mangled twice. Was it Bruges beat them, I think? Tons of goals in that. Genk haven't been great. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 4 at home. The last defeat against USG is excusable. We saw Union Saint-Gilloise win away from home in the Champions League on Tuesday night. Anybody can go to Rangers and win at the minute. I've got no concern with the form of the Belgian league just held up against the form of the Scottish league. That's not a problem. Genk at 7-4, look, outrageously big price, Baz. Plus 175. Give me a little bit of Genk.
Yeah, that one didn't make my list, but I don't mind fading Rangers. A lot of my picks are sort of based on fading teams who aren't in good form, which is part of the fading Forest at the start. My next one is a Wednesday night game. If you've got the odds there, it's Crvena Zvezda v Celtic. So I've gone to the other Scottish tie.
The other side. Yeah, I have 13-8 plus 162. Crvena Zvezda 12-5 plus 240. The draw. And 6-4 plus 150, or 31-20. You can have plus 155 Celtic.
So anyway, I've pronounced them once. I'm going to call them Red Star from here on in because that's easier. Red Star find themselves in the Europa League, having fallen at the final, hurdling in the qualifying, losing to Paphos, which is why they're in the Champions League, and Red Star in this. Domestically, they've started really, really well. played 7, won 7, scored 30 in their opening 7 games as well. But they haven't shown much in the way of clean sheets. The last 7 games for them have all went both teams to score. And only 1 clean sheet in their last 11 games. Their season does start earlier than over here. They were in the Champions League last year, and their games were full of goals. Their 8 Champions League games last year saw 35 goals in total. So they were averaging 4 per game. And even when they were losing to decent sides, they didn't qualify, but they weren't completely disgraced. They weren't sort of tailed off at the very bottom. And even when they were losing to decent sides, they didn't struggle to score. They put 2 past Barca, they lost 5-2, scored against Monaco, scored against Milan, and they put 5 past Stuttgart at home. So it demonstrates they can compete outside of domestic action where, the level of opponent's different. But certainly they can compete in an attacking sense. Celtic also fell at the final qualifying stage, failing to register a goal against Kairat Almaty. Domestically, they've started well, 6 wins from 7. 4 of their last 5 went over 2.5 goals as well. So it's it's all pointing to goals for me. I think it's a potential banana skin for Celtic as well, away from home. I don't mind Red Star as a pick, actually at 17-10. But I'm going to go for goals in this one, and I think we might get a few. I'll take the over 2.5 at 8-11 as my safe pick. But over 3.5 goals between Red Star and Celtic, 2-1, and over 4.5 goals at 5-1. So a little mini ladder. I think we might see a few here.
Yeah, Joe's on board with that. 3-1 Red Star is Joe's pick. I'm going to stay domestic then, as that's where we've been. And I'm going to go to Aston Villa's game, which is Thursday at 8 o'clock. They're taking on Bologna. Villa have drifted, actually, on the back of today's result. They were 3-4, minus 133. They're now 5-6, minus 120. So not much faith in Villa. Bologna 12-5, plus 240. And Bologna, right, the draw 12-5, plus 240. Bologna 7-2, plus 350. And like Rangers and like Forest, I don't want to bet Villa. You can't bet Villa. It's terrible. They can't score. They don't look like winning. I've watched them twice now. Obviously, I covered them last week against Everton, and they were fucking terrible. And then today against Sunderland, if you'd missed the red card, you would not have known Sunderland had 10 men. Sunderland were applying all the pressure. It was all set pieces, long balls, corners. But Villa were bang in trouble. Villa had 2 shots on target today. Keeper made a save in the first half, and then Matty Cash scored that 35-yard thunder bastard, which, by the way, went straight through that goalkeeper who could do no wrong. The laws of diminishing returns on goalkeepers.
I did think that was a shocker from him. It was like we made a paper mache.
It went in the middle of the goal, and you got 2 hands to it, and still couldn't stop it going in. So yeah, that's going to fall apart sooner rather than later. But Villa were dog shit, and the defence is looking all right. Like Mings, Concert are capable. They had that 0-0 at Everton last week, and then they only conceded 1 today. But it's their good players. Morgan Rogers was miles off it. Ollie Watkins was miles off it. Buendia is just not very good. So I don't want anything to do with them. Bologna 1-2, lost 2. The 2 narrow defeats have come against Roma and AC Milan, which isn't terrible form. But what's more striking in this is goals, Barry. The 3 1-0 defeats for Bologna in the 4 games. Villa have scored once all season and had 4 unders. So I don't mind Bologna as an underdog, but the under 2.5, Barry, 4-5, minus 125. This looks like a dog with fleas. So we'll take the unders in Villa v Bologna, Barry. If you've got the same pick, you've made your little...
I mean, yeah, the pick's the same, but I also thought Bologna as a potential dog as well. So I came to this one purely when I saw the Villa at odds on, again, because we talked about them last week being odds on against Sunderland and how you couldn't possibly back them, having seen what we've seen so far this season. And sure enough, they struggled once again to stay off a Sunderland side playing with 10 men for an hour. No win in 6 competitive games for Villa. So you simply can't back them at that price. So, as I say, Bologna entered my mind as a potential dog. They won 2-1 this weekend against Genoa. 2 wins, 2 draws for them. As you've mentioned, though, 3-1 nils in there. And they're 3-1 to the unders. Villa are 5-1 to the unders in all competitions and scored just once in 5 games. So I think it had to be the angle in the under 2.5 goals. Villa were great in Europe last season, and possibility this competition might kickstart the season, but I still think they're a fade at the moment based on what we've seen so far. But yeah, I didn't end up going for Bologna. I don't mind them as an underdog, but I'll take the same pick. Under 2.5 goals between Villa and Bologna at 4-5.
They are clear outright favourites to win this competition. I don't know if you looked at that market at all today, Barry. But Villa are 6-1 favourites, with Roma at 9-1, and then Bologna a third in. Bologna, Porto, and Forest all at 10-1, with Betis, who we've already talked about, in at 12s. But yeah, clear favourites for Aston Villa at the minute doesn't look like a particularly good idea. Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em. You can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favourite player stats. Underdog is a brand new offer for new customers. Play $5, get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code PLGP. And Rhythm is off to a great start in college football and the NFL. There's a weekly leaderboard on there. You get cash prizes just for tracking your bets. In the app, you can win up to $1,000. Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use the promo code SGPN25. Okay, Barry, it is time for the board game that's got everybody talking. I spoke to Dom on Thursday night in the pub. Dom said he was very much enjoying this part of the show, Barry. So feedback, the focus group of 1 has replied that they like this part of the show. So what do you think about that?
Questionable.
It's not questionable. As you left it, you just humped the ball into my half of the pitch. The ball is on the edge of my penalty area in square F10. And I don't really know what... Oh, actually, Barry, a little bit of housekeeping for you here. There are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 13 cards left in the discard pile, right? Now, half time happens when there's 3 cards left, which means we've got 10 more turns. So that's kind of 5 each. So, I mean, people are complaining about how long this game's taking. But by mid-October, it's going to be half time and it's flown by. So don't wish your life away, people. Enjoy this while it lasts. But why I'm telling you that, Barry, is you keep your cards for the second half. You don't get a new set of cards. But if you wanted to jettison a shit card or 2 right on half time, do you know what I mean? If you just wanted to stick it sideways out for a throw-in before the whistle goes, then bear that in mind. So I'm doing you a favour there. You all right with that?
I'm all right with that.
Can you keep track of the 10, or do you want me to give you a countdown?
I'll be all right, I think.
You'll be all right, okay. So 10 cards left to play. I've got nothing much I can do here. I'm just going to launch it straight forward. 7, Baz. 7 in a straight line with that fella who looks a bit like Paul Marinette. He's going up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just over halfway, Barry, into the feet of William Vicario Smythe. And your responses?
So which square are we in?
B10 in my art, in the blue half.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to play a free kick. Yeah, I can play the free kick and then I play a second card after the free kick, don't I?
Yeah.
So forward 3.
1, 2, 3.
And to the left 3, diagonal.
The left?
Yeah.
No, the right.
Oh, well, towards the goal. In towards the goal.
Yeah, if you go left, that's going out the blue.
I'm looking at the picture on
Guaranteed
the board.
that made that right. So you're right sort of level with a penalty spot just outside the box, middle of the goal.
I'll strike it forward 5.
It's a shot on target. Shot on target from who's that? Tanat, your Brazilian midfielder. Shot on target from Barry. That's good. That's exciting. Well done. I will play a response to that shot on target, Barry, in the next show. So you get 2 cards there as well. 2 new cards. So that's only 7 left in the discard, Barry.
Pushed us closer to half time, hasn't it?
Well, mate, we've just got much closer to half time. There you go. Fefwef is messaging that Barry is taking this game much more serious. Mate, it's only talked about in the pub last week. He's obsessed with it, so don't for a second think he's not excited about it, because he very much is. So the ball is in. Well, it's a shot on target in I7. Barry leads 1-0 as we are approaching half time. That was exciting. Barry, would you like to go next? Have you got any European games left?
I've got one European game left.
Right,
yes.
I've got one as well. Go on, you go first.
So I'm going to kick off. I've gone with Nice v Roma as my final pick. So it's a Wednesday night. You got the prices up there?
Nice are 11-5 plus 220, 12-5 the draw plus 240, 6-5 plus 120 Roma.
Yeah, so I'll start with Roma because it's their form that leads me to this pick, really. They started well in Serie A, 3 wins, 1 defeat. And every game finishing 1-0 so far, a bit like Bologna, actually. 3 1-0 wins, 1 1-0 defeat. So they've scored 3, conceded just 1 in their 4 games so far. Nice have had a fairly average start. They've lost 3, won 2. In Europe, they got knocked out in the Champions League qualifiers by Benfica, which I think's a reasonable comparison for this one. They lost both of them games, 2-0 against Benfica, both legs. And I think I could see a similar scoreline here. I think Roma are going to be hard to break down, might shut Nice out, and then nick it 1 or 2-0. The Roma form of 4 1-0s so far this season led me straight to the unders here. And if you look at their form at the back end of the season, it was exactly the same. 8 of their final 10 games finished under 2.5 goals. They've had 3 clean sheets already this season. They had 4 clean sheets in the last 6 games at the end of last season. I think Roma will be too tight for Nice. The pick is going to be under 2.5 goals. I think it's a great price at 10-11. I don't know if I've got a little bit carried away with the unders because I had 2 winning unders picks at the weekend. Yeah, so I've struck a couple of unders out again. But I love the unders in this one. Nice v Roma, under 2.5 goals at 10-11. But for a bonus pick, I like Roma to win to nil at 3-1 as well.
Okay, interesting. Nice 3-1 pick, Baz. My final play is back on Wednesday night. And it's Braga against Feyenoord. Braga 5-4 plus 125, 5-2 the draw plus 250. Feyenoord 2-1. This is 1,000,000% a WTF, Baz. We've got the wrong team favourite here. Feyenoord are way overpriced. Domestically, 1-5 drawn 1 in their 6 games. They're scoring plenty goals. They've got a good pedigree in Europe. They won 5 Champions League matches last season. That's not to be sniffed at. And Braga at home, the Portuguese league, we question the form a lot, don't we? But they've won 2 out of 6 in Portugal. They've got no win in the last 4. In their last home game, they lost 1-0 to Gil Vicente. This is the bet of the week, Baz. I've dug this out. This is the arse sniffer of the week. If I could borrow, Barry, your arse sniffer. Feyenoord at 2-1. The bet of the week here. Absolutely. That's me all done in Europe, Barry. I've got one EFL Cup play. Did you make a little lacquer, did you say?
I didn't. I've got a pick I'm going to chuck out. I didn't go there. I'll tell you why I didn't bother in a bit, but you carry on with
you
your
lead us off with your pick, mate.
Yeah?
You lead us off with your EFL Cup.
Yeah, I've just made one on the fly because the title on the show says EFL.
Well, I'll set the table, Baz. Here we've got it's round 3. We've got games on Tuesday and Wednesday. There's 4 games Wednesday night, and it looks like 8 games on Tuesday. So there's 12 games across the 2 nights. It's seeded, so there's a lot of potential sort of giant killing. But I was looking for an underdog, and I couldn't find one. There's a load of 1-5, 1-6, 1-7 favourites. Tottenham is skinny, Newcastle is skinny, Man City 1-7, Liverpool 1-7, Fulham 1-5, Brighton 1-3. So, but I couldn't find one. I tried, Baz. I really had a good look for an underdog, but I did struggle a little bit.
But see, I came to it intending to make a few picks, and then I looked at it, and I thought it was horrible. And the reason being, they've done this stupid seeding of the draw again now, haven't they, in the 3rd round of the Cup.
Yeah, it's
most teams in Europe can't face each other. Now, they'd done it for the first year last year. And I looked back at last year's third round draw. There were 7 teams in Europe at that point, and all 7 of them won in 90 minutes. There wasn't any upsets. Everyone just went through because they all got a dog shit easy tie because they couldn't face each other. And you just look at it, and there wasn't anything that made me suggest it would be any different. I looked at following the pattern from last year and just taking all of them to win inside 90 minutes, but you'd struggle to get even money for all 6 of them. There's only 6 this year because Forrester went out in the last round. So yeah, I dodged all of those European contenders simply because it was hard to make any kind of pick on any of them. So I've went to the Wrexham v Reading game just for Andy. So we'll jump in with that. Wrexham, full of goals, was what stood out. I think they won 3-2 at the weekend. They've won 3 of the last 4, including a 3-2 win against Preston North End, in the last round of this. And they haven't been shut out all season, scoring all of the time. They've hit 3 on a number of occasions already this season. And rarely do they fail to hit 2. So Reading are dog shite. I think Wrexham will win, but I think they're worth taking on the handicap. They get a decent plus money price. Reading have conceded 13 already this season, sitting down in 20th in League One. I'm going to take Wrexham on the handicap, 7-4.
Wrexham -1.5.
Yep.
Okay, nice. My play, it's not a homer play because I actually adore this, and I think when I talk you through this, Barry, I think you will co-sign this. It's Newcastle v Bradford game. The children in my house, a slight consternation because Bob got to go and watch Barcelona last Thursday, and Betty gets to go and watch Bradford City on Wednesday. You know, life comes at you fast sometimes, kidder. Newcastle 1-9, -900, 8-1 the draw, 16-1 Bradford City. This is going to be a shadow team for the defending champions, Newcastle. Today was a fairly shadow team. Bruno and Joe Linton didn't get near the pitch at all. He made changes everywhere. And so I think we won't see those players again. This is a full-on 10 days rest situation before we play Arsenal at the weekend. So Asula will lead the line. I think Big Dick Nick won't be cited. If we make some changes at the back, I think that's where we can do it and we'll be fine. Because today we saw Botman and Chow. I think we'll probably see Lascelles and Burn, someone like that. Emil Kraft will come in. Trippier didn't play today, so Trippier will probably get a game. He'll sit with Miley Willock. Bradford are flying in League One. I get it. They won. Where did they win? Cardiff yesterday. I think they won at Cardiff on Saturday. They've won 6 out of 9. But facing this Newcastle defence, by the way, which has kept clean sheets repeatedly all season, it's a different proposition. At the same stage of this competition last year, Barry, in a very comparable game, we played Wimbledon at home, if you remember, and we won 1-0 with a penalty, the Fabian Schär penalty. We beat Wimbledon 1-0. Under 2.5 goals is incredible value at 21-10 plus 210. But that makes under 3.5 even. That's a steal at 5-6. I can't see them making 4 goals in this game, Barry. We probably will nick it, but it might just be 1 or 2-0. We played Bromley in the FA Cup last year. Willisula 1-0. Like, there's nothing much going on in these games. So Bradford will huff and puff, but we've very much shown that we're capable of defending. And where Newcastle's strength in depth is at the back. If the Ramsdale get a game and goal, it's not like they're going to roll a load of kids out. They're going to roll a load of experienced international footballers out. It'll be at the front end of the pitch where we're a bit soppy. Like I say, it'll be Osula, maybe Barnes.
Gordon might get a run out, mightn't he? Having only played 1 game. Gordon, possibly.
Gordon, yeah, he's been suspended, yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think it will be a cagey affair. And as you say, we probably will nick it, but I don't see us running up a score. We didn't talk much about the Newcastle game earlier.
That's because there was fucking nothing to talk about, Barry. Nothing happened. It was lowest XG in Premier League history, I believe.
There was the non-penalty call, which was absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
I don't know how that wasn't given. But then at the same time, Malik Chow should definitely have been sent off for a second yellow card.
Yeah, We've talked about that one where you get to substitute someone who should have got sent off. We've moaned about that a lot, haven't we? That's one of our favourite things.
Arnie Slot
Was
gets
our
to do
turn
it
today?
Yeah, Arnie Slot gets to do it most weeks, doesn't he? He's done it a few times recently. But how Chow stayed on, I don't know. But that penalty call was like, they made the call within about 10 seconds, as if they hadn't even bothered looking at a replay. But it was so blatant.
Here's the thing with that, Baz. What they said was they backed up the referee's call. Now, the referee couldn't see it because he's pulled his shirt from behind him and the referee stood over there. So you can't back up the referee's call because the referee hasn't seen it. What are you fucking talking about? It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Did you see it, Jeff? No. Oh, well, we'll crack on. Fucking, what are you on about, like? Fucking preposterous. Absolutely. We didn't deserve fuck all. It was absolute dog shit.
No complaints overall, but it was just another shambles of a decision because it was a blatant penalty. And in any other game, it gets given as a penalty. But
three away games in the league, 3 0-0 draws for Newcastle. Don't see that very often. Anyway, Baz, that's all of my pickages done. Have you got anything you want to tell the people before we let them go?
No, I don't think so. I've got some international football coming to my town soon. I got a phone call the other day.
You got a phone call? Who was it, Barry?
From
Santos.
Canada are coming over to play against my girls' team.
All of them?
All of Canada, yeah. Now, I got a phone call from someone at Nottinghamshire FA saying they've got a girls' school trip from Canada who are in the area and want to play some football while they're here. And did we want to host the Canadians for a game? So,
nice.
We'll be rolling out on a Tuesday night against the Canadians.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'll have to take the speaker and get the national anthems and get the flags out and all
that.
Make an occasion of it.
As it happens, I was going to give out a tip on the Women's Rugby World Cup final. If I can find that, hang on a minute. Because Canada, you've reminded me, Rugby Union, Women's Rugby World Cup, on the money line. Oh, right. Canada are 9-4 plus 225. That's 7.5 point underdogs. Canada's going to win that outright, Barry. England have got so many more questions. I don't know if people know this, but I'm quite the expert in Women's International Rugby Union. And Canada are going to stuff them. So as a bonus pick for all you people who've stayed to the end of the show is to fill your boots on Canada. That is next Saturday at 4 o'clock. 7.5 spread. But yeah, just get them on the money line. 9-4 plus 225. Canada. Beautiful. That, Baz, anything else to add?
No, that is all.
Right, smashing. We'll come back probably on Thursday or shooting for Premier League Match Day 6 picks. Are there any games on Friday night, Baz? Are you aware of this next week?
No, I haven't looked that far forward.
No, Saturday lunchtime, Brentford, Manchester United will lead us off next weekend. Okay, smashing. Thanks, Baz. Good effort. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We do appreciate it. Just stay across there. Like, rate, review, thumbs up, all of that shit. Comment on Spotify. That really helps force us down people's ears who don't want to hear us. But yeah, so do all of that. Come back on or check the schedule. We'll be scheduled, I reckon, for Thursday night. So good luck with your European picks this week. Enjoy it. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.